Instagram stories for Monday, February 12th. I'm your host, Daniel Hill. Normally we start with all the questions about threads from Mosseri Monday, but we're not going to do that today. Today we're going to start with the questions about broadcast channels. Just as a reminder, broadcast channels are only available for creator accounts, and they are a one-way method of communication, sort of like an email list, but inside Instagram, in the DM box. The question: will broadcast channels ever be available for all users? When the question says all users, there are two types of users that are not able to use broadcast channels. Those would be business accounts and individual accounts. Here's Adam's answer.
We hope so. Right now, they're only available to creators. We're working on extending that to all businesses. But in general, I do think that it's a product designed for very large accounts. It doesn't make as much sense to have a broadcast channel if you're just using Instagram to connect with your friends. For that, I actually think a group chat would work better.
Let's go on to the next question. Why are comments that don't breach terms and conditions constantly being removed? This is an interesting question because, number one, I personally have never experienced having a comment be removed because of a breach, but also there are so many spam comments that Instagram allows and doesn't take down. So it's odd to me that this person is having this experience. Here's Adam's answer.
We definitely make mistakes, both in terms of what content we take down and what accounts we take down and which ones we don't, so I apologize for that. There are over 2 billion people on Instagram, and actually millions of reports a day. So it's important to understand that even if we only make a mistake 1% of the time, that can mean millions of mistakes over time. So we have teams focus on reducing the number of mistakes and improving what we call accuracy or precision. If we do catch you or a piece of your content by mistake in our safety systems, go to account status. You should be able to see it there and you should be able to appeal, and hopefully we can get you sorted real quick.
The next question is a really good hint on how to go viral. The question: only my short videos go viral. So you have any guidance on video timing? I think I've talked about this a lot on the show, and I had Jen Herman from Jen's Trends do a special piece about a blog post that she wrote about, describing the different lengths that Reels can be and why you would use those specific lengths. I will boil it down to generally shorter is better. Adam in this answer says almost all the things that I just said, except he doesn't agree with shorter is better. I mean, we can have different opinions. That's fine.
Short videos tend to do better on Instagram. I think that's because Instagram is mostly used in little spurts throughout the day, between meetings, while you're waiting in line for coffee, while you're waiting for the bus, that kind of thing. Now, there isn't a perfect answer here. Obviously, Reels can only go up to 90 seconds, but you can upload longer videos through the post flow. We only recommend videos to people who do not yet follow you if they're under 90 seconds. Then we probably should clean that up. But in general, I think short is better, but not necessarily the shorter the better. You got to experiment and figure out what is best for your audience.
Okay, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get to the threads questions, and we're going to talk about if your Instagram algorithm has changed in terms of what content it's showing you, what you could possibly do about it. Hey, maybe you want to see something and you're not seeing it anymore. We'll talk about it. And we're back. Next question. My Reels algorithm totally changed. How do I get back to the content I liked to see before? This can happen, especially if somebody different uses your phone, which could totally happen, or you go down a rabbit hole for a couple of days where you're interested in some different content. Then the Reels algorithm is going to start trying to show you content that it now thinks you want to see. TikTok addresses this by allowing you to periodically completely reset your TikTok experience, which I like to do because I think there's a lot of content that I don't know exists, and how would I know it exists unless TikTok shows it to me? So that's why I like to periodically just reset things. Here's Adam's answer.
So there actually wasn't any recent big change to ranking. One thing I see a lot is people say, was there a change to ranking, as if there's like one big binary switch one day to the next. And that's not actually how ranking tends to move or change. Ranking changes very slowly every day, just a tiny, tiny bit. And then over time, hopefully gets better and better at understanding what you're interested in and connecting you with exactly that. No major ranking change recently. If you're not seeing stuff you're interested in, that's on us. It means we're doing a bad job. Use See Less to get rid of stuff you're not interested in. Interact with stuff you are interested in, and hopefully we will learn more over time.
Okay, let's go on to the threads questions. The first one, when are we getting lists on threads? Twitter has lists. You could compile lists of people who you liked who all talked about a certain topic. For instance, you could have a list on Twitter of all your favorite social media podcast hosts, and you could put those all on a list, and it's quite flattering to think, oh, these are other favorite people of this person, and I'm being included in that list. That's really great. So it's flattering, and then that person can view all the people's content that they've put in that list all at once. That's how it works on Twitter. Here's Adam's answer to when are we getting lists on Threads?
Lists is on the list of power user feature requests that we're working through. We're not currently working on it. You're going to see us launch a few other ones that power users are requesting first, but it is certainly on the table.
Okay, and the last question that we're going to talk about today, does jumping on trends increase distribution? When I first read this question, I thought it was referring to trends on Threads, but I was thinking more that this question might apply globally across Instagram, in which case I would say jumping on trends is a very good thing, but no guarantee of increased distribution. Jumping on a trend is always good because that's something people are very interested in that moment. Here's Adam's answer.
It can. If something is trending, it's usually a signal that there are a lot of people interested in whatever that trend is, but it certainly is not guaranteed.
Okay, that is going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. One request, and I kind of hinted at this a little bit earlier. Are there other favorite social media podcasts that you listen to? I should probably be friends with those people. I mean, Jen Lehner and I are friends. I don't know if you listen to Jen Lehner's Front Row Entrepreneur. She does a flash briefing with daily updates. I consider Jen a good friend, but are there other social media podcasts you listen to? Please let me know. I would love an introduction to the host if you know them, but if not, I'll just reach out and try to start a conversation. As always, thank you so much for listening.
Instagram news got you covered, sometimes even TikTok. Relevant platforms in the metaverse ahead of the wave, without a break or a pit stop. Still waiting for Zuckerberg to give me the big job. Pause. Use trademarks and logos with Insta's permission, of course. If you like the show and you gain some good info, maybe leave a review. It's a type of applause. Just drop me a message if you want to collab. If you got some good content or you want to run ads, at Daniel Hill Media is where I am. TikTok, Facebook and Instagram.